Always talks about you.
All right, let's go. Fire away.
So what's it been like for you since you got here?
It's been awesome. First, starting with the weather. The change of weather from Seattle to here has been pretty. I've been really fortunate. I can go on walks in the morning and just wear shorts and flip-flops and kind of go from there. But I like the program. I like what we're doing. I like what Coach Chip Kelly got going on here, and just the foundation that we're trying to set and move forward. He's been trying to do this for now going on his 5th year. And I think he's put a great foundation together, and we were kind of fortunate as our staff to join and be a part of this thing. And I think we're just going to keep improving and make that better.
How have all the new pieces on the staff kind of coalesced and came together?
Yeah, I think we're still working on that. We're still trying to. It's a collective collaboration, whatever you want to call it, because there's so many people with a lot of knowledge. We got 2 guys from the NFL coming. My right hand man with Chad and I working together, Coach Kahaha. He and I were always against each other, and now for me to be able to pick his brain, I think we're all improving, not only as players but also as coaches, and then adding on the dimension on the offensive side with Coach Kelly and how he can dissect our defense. I think that's what spring is about. All of us trying to, not only for the players building fundamentals, but us as coaches learning how to work together, taking pieces of the pies from different programs that we came from, and then trying to put together a really good package that we'll be proud of once we get to fall.
There are a couple guys, the Murphys and Darius, who came in the offseason. You said you were pretty important in getting them to commit here. What have you seen from them so far, and how excited are you to
Well, let me first say, I think we have a really, really good recruiting department, and those guys have identified them way before we even got into this picture. I was a part of it, but our staff as a whole, we recruit all together. I think what we sold as a program, and then what Coach Kelly confirmed once they got here, I think that's what they are buying into. There's a culture here that is kind of it's for us. It's something special, and then we keep it in-house. So the only way that the Twins, as well as Darius, would have seen that is to come in person and see it for themselves. So I think that's what they bought into, and we're starting to build with that. For them, it's impressive just how much football knowledge they have, all 3 of them. For them to pick up a new package, go out and execute and compete for, right now, at least a rotation, if not trying to be the starter. But, like I said, we're still trying to develop all 3 of them, and I think the Twins have so much left to improve on. I know they've shown flashes of what they can do for our program, but I think they would agree. There's so much left for us to get better at. And obviously we're running out of time. We have 1 more practice left. But on the off season, I think, the guys that we have in our program, and I think they'll have a great off season together, work together, and I really look forward to fall camp.
Another transfer, Latu.
Yeah.
Instrumental in probably bringing him here, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
What is his objective for this coming season?
Yeah.
What have you seen from him this spring?
Really, one is his health, trying to just maintain his health. He has been basically a student teacher for me. He's came with me from University of Washington, so he kind of knows my language, my terminology, and as I'm adapting to the culture and trying to add value to the culture, sometimes I kind of go back to what I knew, and Laiatu is there to help explain or even translate, if that might be the right word, so that our group can understand it. But for him, he's doing as much as he can in terms of the individuals. He can actually go on the field right now if we let him, but that's part of what I really appreciate with what Coach Kelly does, is we're trying to make sure that everybody is right, both physically and mentally, before we put them out on the field, and what we can get out of him. So you see him, his explosiveness is just as much as the guys that are practicing, but he's doing it on the side, behind the scenes, when nobody's watching.
You said he's clear. Is there something else he's waiting for to be in team stuff?
It's just us. We really just want to take precautions on that and take the right step. We're trying to move as slow as possible and putting him through drills, having him hit the sleds, making sure he's just as comfortable as we are as we move forward. And then, Coach Kelly and Anthony and the doctors, those guys will decide when it's time to turn him loose and let's get going. So, but really looking forward to his as well, but time will tell.
And we've seen you in drills and individuals, kind of like hitting dummies and sleds and all that. How important do you think that is to kind of teach those players that hands-on kind of stuff?
I think it is important. I think sometimes my words does not describe exactly what I want, so I have to do it in person. But for the most part, those guys, they learn really, really well, and I think it helps them. It kind of gives them a little energy and juice that their coach is trying their best to act like I'm 18 years old again and be out there. But so this is kind of my playground. This is where I can act like a little kid and have fun with the guys. But I think primarily is really try to teach the technique through my eyes. Trying to get the words into a physical description, and hopefully they learn from that.
And going back to Latu for a second.
Yep.
I want to say I was reading up about 5 specials he saw when he was at Washington, when he had to medically retire. I guess what changed between now and that time?
See, that's so way above my pay grade. I mean, I really don't know. I do know that the doctors have seen him and they kind of allowed him to practice with us, and that's kind of what I'm going to go with, right? For me to comment on that, I don't have the expertise to do that. I do know what he does on the field. He looks really, really impressive, and looking forward for him to play again and just have that opportunity.
How have his spirits changed since knowing that he can restart his career?
It's awesome. It's been good for him just to be part of the program again. These are things from the kids from 18 to 21. They kind of they long for camaraderie. They long for brotherhood. And that's one thing that he was able to do again. He's back in the room. He's able to do drills. He's able to teach. He comes out and works out on Saturday on his own. I think 4 of those guys come out on Saturday and try to get better. And that for him, just spiritually, that helped him. It helped him a lot.
Other than the transfers, what have you seen from the returning players? Carl Jones, Devin. What have you seen from those guys?
Those guys have been instrumental in my development as a coach. One, learning the culture here. So things I'm trying to bring from my previous job. Those guys will sometimes sit me down and just say, "Hey, coach, this is what we've normally done. This is the standard." So for instrumentally, and those guys have taught me what we're doing. And then I think they've been very open-minded in terms of the techniques, new things that I brought, even schematically, verbiage-wise, that they've opened their mind to. But Bo is our leader. Bo is our leader of our unit, and I think everybody respects that. And then Carl Jones, I think, is having one of the best springs right now of that group. So he's improved tremendously from being the physical player that he is, and then obviously the pass rush aspect of it. We all can get better at pass rush. That's one thing for sure we will be working on the off season, but I think Carl has taken huge strides trying to get better at pass rush.
That was my next question. When Coach Kelly was considering you for the position, how much of an emphasis was it about improving the pass rush at UCLA?
That was it. I think they've done really, really well. We have done really, really well in the past in terms of the run. They're just trying to develop a pass rush or have some type of threat, whether it be manufacturing it or a 4-man rush. And I think that's part of my description, is try to improve that with the help of Coach Chad, Kauhaha, and then hopefully the results are what we anticipate come fall.
And then Darius, when we spoke to him a few weeks back, mentioned both yourself and Chad, the Hawaii connection. How far does that relationship go back?
Oh, well, so Hawaii as a whole, we really pride ourselves on our culture, our family atmosphere, and anytime a local kid could come to the mainland and have that same culture, be a part of it, I think that's what was really important, and not so much for Darius, but even for the parents, and what they anticipate for myself and Coach Chad being a part of his life. And so we're just trying to bring home closer to him, to California. But for the most part, I think the program that we have, what Coach Kelly has started already and what we're continuing, it really falls into what Hawaii recruiting is all about. There is a true family atmosphere here. The word like love is going around, and I think that's a huge part of what creating unity is for our team. And I think Darius feels at home with it.